Imagine if someone erased the first 3 years of your life, every laugh, every first step, every birthday, every face you loved. Gone. Or, at least, that's what it feels like. Because here's the first surprise. Your earliest memories were probably never truly erased. Many scientists now think something even stranger happened. They became difficult or sometimes impossible for your adult brain to consciously access. And that happened to almost every person on Earth. Some of the most important experiences of your life shaped who you are today, yet you'll probably never watch them play back inside your mind. Why? Where did those memories go? Were they deleted forever? Or are they still hidden somewhere inside your brain? The answer takes us into one of neuroscience's greatest mysteries, and by the end of this video, you'll discover that forgetting your earliest years may actually be one of the smartest things your brain ever did. Let's begin with one of the biggest myths about babies. Myth: babies can't form memories. Reality: they absolutely can. If babies couldn't remember anything, they would never recognize their parents. They wouldn't learn language. They wouldn't know that crying brings comfort. They wouldn't smile at familiar faces. They wouldn't recognize voices they had heard before birth. In fact, studies show that even very young infants can learn patterns, recognize people, remember sounds, and expect familiar events to happen. So babies are constantly building memories. The mystery isn't whether babies remember. The mystery is why adults can't remember being babies. Scientists call this phenomenon infantile amnesia. Nearly everyone experiences it. Most adults have few, if any, autobiographical memories from before about age 3, although the exact age varies from person to person. So, where did those first memories go? One clue lies deep inside your brain. A small structure called the hippocampus acts like a memory librarian. Its job is to organize experiences and help transform them into long-term memories you can consciously revisit later. But during infancy, that librarian is still learning the job. Neural connections are forming at astonishing speed. New pathways appear every second. The brain is building itself while simultaneously trying to understand an entirely new world. Imagine trying to organize the world's biggest library while thousands of new books arrive every single day and the shelves are still being built. Some books are carefully stored, others are placed temporarily, some become difficult to find later. The system simply hasn't matured yet. But here's where the mystery becomes even more fascinating. Babies produce new brain cells at an incredible rate. For many years, scientists assumed that more neurons could only improve memory. Now, some researchers think there may be an unexpected trade-off. Imagine writing thousands of important notes inside a notebook. Then someone keeps inserting hundreds of blank pages between every existing page. The notes haven't disappeared, but finding them becomes increasingly difficult. Some neuroscientists believe the rapid growth of new neurons inside the hippocampus may reorganize or weaken access to older memory networks, making early autobiographical memories much harder to retrieve later in life. This idea is still being actively studied, especially because much of the strongest evidence comes from animal research. But it offers one fascinating possibility. Your earliest memories may not have been erased. Your brain simply rebuilt the filing system around them. Language adds another piece to the puzzle. Think about your memories today. Most exist as stories. You silently describe what happened. You name people, you explain emotions, you organize experiences into words. Babies can't do that yet. Before language develops, experiences are stored very differently. They remember warmth, the sound of a familiar voice, the smell of home, the feeling of safety, the comfort of being held. Those experiences are real, but without language, they are much harder to organize into the detailed life stories adults later retrieve. As children begin speaking, the brain gradually learns to connect experiences into a personal timeline. Language doesn't create memories. It helps organize them into stories that can be revisited years later. Culture shapes those stories too. Researchers have discovered that childhood memories often appear earlier in families where parents regularly talk about the past. They ask children questions. They discuss emotions. They tell family stories. They encourage children to explain what happened. Each conversation strengthens how memories are organized and reconstructed over time. Because memory isn't like replaying a perfect video recording. Every time you remember something, your brain actively rebuilds it. The more often those memories are revisited, the stronger they usually become. But perhaps the biggest surprise is this. Not remembering your earliest years doesn't mean they stopped influencing you. Those first experiences helped shape your brain in extraordinary ways. They influenced how you learned language, how you trusted others, how you formed emotional bonds, how you responded to comfort, how you explored the world. Scientists often call these implicit memories. Unlike autobiographical memories, you can't consciously replay them like scenes from a movie. Instead, they quietly guide your emotions, habits, expectations, and behaviors throughout your entire life. Your conscious mind may forget, your brain does not. Now imagine meeting your one-year-old self. They wouldn't know your name, they couldn't understand your future, they couldn't imagine the person you've become. Yet without that tiny explorer, you wouldn't exist as you do today. Every smile, every fall, every hug, every new sound, every tiny discovery helped build the brain. Reading these words right now, you simply can't replay the recording anymore. So, what really happened to your first memories? The best scientific answer is surprisingly beautiful. They were never simply erased. Some became difficult to access as your rapidly developing brain reorganized itself. Some were stored before your memory system fully matured. Some lacked the language needed to become lasting autobiographical stories, and many still live on, not as scenes you can consciously replay, but as invisible foundations supporting everything you became. Your earliest years were never lost. They were transformed. The strange truth is that the part of you that remembers your first years best isn't your conscious mind. It's your brain itself, and perhaps that's why the most important chapter of your life is also the one you'll never truly remember.